This is Year 6 Maths for Wednesday the 17th of June, and the learning objective is I can read and interpret pie charts. So before we start our work on pie charts, we're going to recap some of the work that we've done on circles. Look at the labels on the right, circumference, radius, diameter and centre, and pause the video and have a try at thinking about where you'd put those labels on the diagram. So starting with the centre of the circle, that's in the green box, it's represented by the black dot in the middle of the circle there. The diameter is the distance all the way across the circle, the yellow arrow, and the radius is like a ray coming out from the middle of the circle, so that's the red arrow. The circumference is the distance all the way around the edge of the circle, so that's the dark blue line. Here are a couple of questions about circles. If the radius of Amy's bike wheel is 21 centimetres, what would the diameter be? And if Amy marks a spot on the tyre and it spins one full circle, how many degrees will it travel through? Pause the video while you have a think. So if the radius of Amy's bike is 21 centimetres, the diameter would be double that, which is 42 centimetres. If Amy marked a spot on the tyre of her bike and it spun one full circle, it would travel through 360 degrees. Here's one more circle question. If the diameter of Saul's cake tin is 63 centimetres, what would the radius be? And if Jimmy eats a quarter of the cake that Saul makes, how many degrees would this slice be? Pause the video while you think about the answers. So if the diameter of the cake tin is 63 centimetres, the radius would be half that amount, which is 31.5 centimetres. And if Jimmy eats a quarter of the cake, the number of degrees that a quarter would be is 90 degrees. So now we've done some recapping on circles, we're going to start at looking at some pie charts. This pie chart shows the 600 pupils at Copingham Primary School and how they travel to school. What do you notice about the fraction of the circle that's blue? And what about the fraction that's yellow? And then the fractions that are green and red. Pause the video while you think about it. I expect you've noticed that half the circle is blue, a quarter of the circle is yellow, and half of a quarter or 1/8 of the circle is red and 1/8 is green. Knowing these fractions can help us work out the amount of children who travel by the different methods. If half the circle is blue and the whole circle represents 600 children, then the blue part of the circle must represent 600 divided by 2, which is 300 children. So 300 of the children walk to school. A quarter of the circle is yellow. 600 divided by 4 is 150, so 150 of the children take the train. 1/8 of the circle is red and 1/8 is green. 600 divided by 8 is 75. So 75 children travel by car and 75 children cycle. When you're answering this kind of question, take care to check how many people each pie chart represents. So for example, these two pie charts show the classes in Year 2 and Year 5 and what their favourite drinks are. The pie chart on the left is for Year 5 and represents 96 pupils, whereas the pie chart on the right represents Year 2, where there are only 48 pupils. Pause the video while you work out how many children in Year 5 liked Fizz-Aid best and how many children in Year 2 liked Fizz-Aid best. Then how many children in Year 5 liked Roller Cola best and how many children in Year 2 liked Roller Cola best. So first, for Year 5, I can see that Fizz-Aid is the blue chunk, so that's half the pie chart, so it must be half the pupils. 96 divided by 2 is 48, so 48 children like Fizz-Aid best. For Year 2, the pie chart represents 48 children, so half of 48 is 24 children like Fizz-Aid best. For Roller Cola in Year 5, I can see that the green section is 1/3 of the total pie chart. So 96 divided by 3 is 32 for Year 5. But for Year 2, 48 divided by 3 is 16. So 16 children in Year 2 like Roller Cola best. This pie chart shows people's favourite ice cream flavours, but instead of numbers of people, it shows percentages. Pause the video and think what percentage the whole pie would be. What about half the pie and a quarter? So the whole pie must represent the whole group, so that would be 100%. Half the pie would represent half that amount, or 50%, and a quarter of the pie would represent a quarter of that amount, or 25%. The pie chart represents 150 people's favourite ice cream flavour. Pause the video and think about what percentage chose strawberry or mint. Then think about how many people that would be. I've noticed that 30% of the people chose strawberry as their favourite flavour and 20% chose mint as their favourite flavour, so that makes 50% in total. If the whole pie chart represents 150 people, then 50% of the people must be half of 150, which is 75 people. Now try the work on the website. When you're ready, you can use the answers to check how you got on.